All right, question number 2. I always feel like Regis Philbin from like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, like the light should go on.
It's a good
Okay, question number 2.
It's a good throwback.
No. Yeah, you're too young for that. In terms of sodium intake, at what point do you allow individuals to consume greater than the RDA as a result of loss through sweat or exercise? It's actually a good question. There are basically 2 groups of people that should or would benefit from taking in greater than the 2,400 milligrams or less per day of sodium. One is going to be people whose calorie or energy requirements are such that even if they ate a diet that is hot, has virtually no processed foods in it, it's otherwise health promoting, will, just due to the energy intake itself, will put their sodium intake higher than the 2,400. It's like, can't help it, bro. I can't like get the sodium out of the foods that I'm eating just because they actually have to eat so much volume of food to maintain a healthy body weight and body composition. Those are relatively rare, but large, lean people, large, lean, highly active folks, yeah, they would all qualify for that. And so you're like, I can't get less than 2,400 milligrams of sodium per day. What do? And it's like, I don't know that it would benefit you to lower your sodium intake. Also, people who obviously are very active in hot and or humid environments, who sweat a lot, who happen to have a lot of sodium in their sweat, they probably would benefit from replacing that, and it may actually be more than 2,400 milligrams per day. The problem is we don't know how much sodium that they're losing, but the good thing is it doesn't really matter how much sodium that they're losing, meaning that there's no real rush to replace this stuff. Virtually after all types of intensive exercise, physical activity, your sodium level in your blood drops below normal. We call that hyponatremia. The risk there isn't that you have this like acute, short-term, small decrease in blood sodium levels. The worry there, and that in and of itself is super dangerous. The worry is that you correct that too quickly or take steps that are extraordinary and try to replace it super quickly, like drinking gallons and gallons of free water or Gatorade or something like that. There's been a few high profile incidences of cerebral edema, the brain actually swelling and causing sudden death. Not good. And the whole idea is like, well, I just had all the sweat and it's got a bunch of sodium in it, so I got to replace it now. And it's like, honestly, you just gave yourself a few more hours of eating and drinking normally, you'd be fine tomorrow. But the idea is you have to replace everything now, kind of makes some of these behaviors a little more common that are unnecessary. And I feel the same way, not that this is super related, but when people are like, I need to have a post-workout shake now. Like they just finished their last rep, they haven't even stripped the bar, and they're like, I need it now. Protein, carbohydrates, now. And it's like, it's okay if you go home first. Maybe if you go home and shower first. Maybe even go home, shower, interact with a loved one, cook. Like you don't need to, it doesn't need to be like, within the next 30 minutes or the next hour. It could be 4 hours later and you'd be perfectly fine and not know the difference the following day. And that actually extends quite, a long way further than that. So in any case, what to do about this? I don't actually think there's a really great solution as far as determining how much more sodium or determining how much more fluid someone should take in. Relative to sodium based on anything I can send you home with. You'd have to do some pretty in-depth monitoring stuff, but the current guidelines for this recommend that people, during activities, have access to fluids and drink as much as they want or as little as they want, and then afterwards that they eat a meal and drink normally and don't take any special steps like electrolyte replacement stuff or add a ton of salt to their meals or restrict salt either. So I basically wouldn't do anything special. The only time that I might start nerding out on this are people who are competing multiple times per day or training multiple times per day in hot and humid environments. And even then, I'd be pretty cautious about what levels we're sort of working with. Because again, the body, the kidneys in particular, are really, really smart. And anytime we try to screw with them, they kind of fight back. So I don't really want to get on somebody's kidneys' bad side or bad sides because they're, yeah. Does that make sense? You have anything to add to that? You taking an electrolyte supplement, bro?
I do not take an electrolyte supplement.
That seems like an opportunity for endorsement.
Yeah, there's a funny there's a company that I'll leave unnamed, but they are one of these electrolyte replacements. They claim to like hydrate people better. This came up recently. They advertised their product as utilizing something called CTT, and it's like registered trademark. cellular transport technology.
Oh shoot, just osmosis?
And literally what their claim is that their supplement results in better hydration compared to just plain water. And the way this happens is because in the gut, we all have receptors that when there is sodium and there's glucose present in the fluid, there's a co-transporter that absorbs this stuff faster compared to plain water alone. We all have this in our gut. Every one of us has this in their gut, and that is their patented technology, is CTT, because their fluid has sodium and glucose in it. So they're just not patenting
Sugar
really,
water.
but their claim to fame is a transporter that everybody already has in their guts, and they're just using that to hydrate you, which is kind of silly. Anyway.
Built differently, bro.
That's right. We're not that smart to come up with marketing like that, but.
No, we just lie to people. All right.